Okay, so I guess, is it rotating? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Um, I really wanted to talk about um trouble things to look out for, dealing with people who have bad intentions for you, mostly narcissists. And the reason why I say this is because it was something that I had to learn, and it kept going over and over and over and over until I got it. Until I got it. Okay. Um the first two, like most narcissists, they use the same rules. They use the same rules. And I just started thinking about it today, like how when I met each and every one of them, one was really um big and grandiose and like just loud and just like I don't even care. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of bold like that, so I'm usually like I don't care. But I mean, they were just really belligerent. So I was just, and then after a while, I was just like, okay, you have no limitations. You have, so I just really need to like. It was by no all means they do whatever they want to, and then and I thought at that time I had dealt with someone who was covert. So um, but I found out it was just a low version of overt narcissist, and yeah. So I left that relationship. Got into another one after. I'm gonna say I took some time just to be by myself, and I'm gonna say it was like about 1.5, 2 years, and then I got into another relationship, and that only lasted for like a year and a half. But this one was very covert, and when I say covert, it was like very, very hidden. So I wanted to talk about the first two things that I learned from not only in my relationships dealing with spousal and stuff like that, but I'm just talking about my relationships with people, period. Because not only were I attracting negative and toxic people, I was attracting like dead narcissists, dead, wait, I mean evil, evil, evil people, like who were not just like narcissists but malignant narcissists. Like so the first thing, this is the first sign that I noticed, and I was just like, it was so creepy. I did not like it. Um they would go out of their way to help me super, like, okay, like I just met this one lady, and you could say, oh yeah, that's a Christian, way, or that's just a really humble way, and people are really nice and they'll bend over backwards for you. And that could be true. Yeah, they went out of their way to be super nice to me, and I mean like super nice. Try to get all the information that they. Okay, yeah. So I like going outside. I like simple stuff. It wasn't like they wouldn't go into detail about anything that they really like to do. And I was like, okay, well maybe because maybe that's just something that they're into, because I'm kind of a person that's like that. I will, when I first meet you, I'm not going out of my way to go and explain what I'm doing or anything like that. Why? I don't think it's none of your damn business. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. Okay? So, but they will go out of their way for you. They will act like when you are in your time of need, they will get out and go above and beyond trying to help you. Okay? My ex was like, got finished homelessness, and he just popped back in. Okay? And matter of fact, he popped back in like when I was getting ready to. Can you go and get the pamphlets? Can you go get the pamphlets or something like that? I know my doggone thing is messing up. Can you get the pamphlets for the topic that I'm talking about, regaining stability to fight against homelessness? That was my first instance with that. The second time was with another ex of mine. Like I said, it's always something. Oh, that's okay, and they will get very angry if you reject, like if you say no, that's okay. um but like I said, they're very altruistic. They are very that is, well, this person did all this grandiose stuff, and because I was going through some things with her, and I started talking about my relationships and how I a personal issue, and I'm not afraid to talk about it now, about my miscarriages. And I talked about that. Later on, I did not know that as I was leaving, she was telling everyone about my business. It was just like, okay, I spilled my heart out to you, and now you're not only talking about it, you're making a mockery of it, and then just saying horrible things. So this is what they do. I mean, she was there. She even went to the hospital when I had my miscarriage, and to when I went in, I had sometimes when you go through um domestic and like horrible relationships and stuff like that, you don't have to use your name, or you can have it to where the hospital don't have to, they if someone tries to look you up, they can't see you. So I had it that way, not for her, but I had it that way because the stress and the anxiety of dealing with all this craziness, and dealing with, because he like I said, he had way more money than me. It was just a lot of um she was there. I mean, she came and she was just like, and I was like, I didn't ask you for that, like, and I didn't want you to come, like, don't come, like, I didn't, you know or when I needed some things with my presentation, and um she always listened. That was a good, like, the best thing that I ever thought, because I was like, people really don't, they only listen when they have something, going wrong, when it's totally wrong, and then they come and listen to me. And so she, like I said, she would bend over backwards, she would listen to me. Not only that, she just was very, like, keying in on clues that I like. So that's why I kind of kept her around, and I was just like, this is somebody who I can learn from, all this other stuff. So um yeah, so she came very altruistic, like very nurturing, mother nurturing. She knew that, my mother, I didn't have that relationship with my mother. So she came off as that, you know and I walked right into it because it was something that I didn't have at that time. um yeah, I didn't have at that time, and I came in a professional background. Even though I had my grandmother, the age difference, she's still my grandmother, but that was the closest mom that I had. So her being around my mom's age, and, well, you do, that, and, and being very open and talking, that was just really good. But later on, those people who are very nice, it's just a trick. That's how you find out their tactics, if they're using it, and then later on you're going around, or you try to give some distance from them, then you'll hear it come back up. Private conversations that you have with them come back up. A lot of people use those tactics in business too, and you have to really nip it in the butt. I can't stand that stuff. Like, just be honest and just, yeah. The second tactic is like when people be like, oh, well, I did all this and blah blah this and blah blah that, and everyone has that person in their family. They're like always talking about they did so much, and it's like, if you, okay, I can see if you're hurt if you did it, but why do you keep doing it and expecting to get something different, getting a different result? You see, this person isn't appreciative, or if you're not even grateful to do it, if you don't have the power to do it, stop doing it. Just stop. Just stop. Nobody will hate you. Nobody will think less of you. Just stop. But the reason why they're doing it is that they're going to use guilt trips to try to con you to get what they want. And they do it really well. Okay? This person actually did that. And my ex, the second one, he would go back and forth. He would definitely go back and forth with that whole thing. And when I call him cheating the first time, he would say, well, I gave you a roof over your head and blah blah this and this and that. And it's like, okay, and so do you want me to leave? And then he'd be like, well, no, I didn't say that. Like, no, yeah, you did. So, or when I told him, I was like, okay, I'm leaving, he was just like, now all this time I want you to leave because I want to be single, after I found out he was cheating on me, And he had no other excuse. First time was, they're trying to break us up. This lady followed me at my job. And they're trying to break us up and everybody's against me and blah, blah, this bull crap, okay? So then that was my time for exit, you know? So then as I go to exit, I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. You know, I tell him, like, I got my own place. He's like, well, you got to get your own place. I already got it. Well, don't be so quick to move in because I can help you, blah, blah, this. No. No. Because like I said, once you get rid of them, you have to make sure that it is closed because they're coming hard for you. So, and if you don't, it's going to repeat like crazy. What did I talk about? Yeah, okay. So, good example. You have to, with these people, with these tactics, you have to know who, how far you can go with them, and understand, the outcomes, what's going to happen, because nothing ever changes, okay? It is of the mind. It's a conditioning of the mind, and if you don't get away from them, you're going to get reconditioned into, their things. I didn't even notice how he was conditioning me. The second one was conditioning me how to shower. Like, I like to shower like 3 times a day. And he would say, you're running too much water. You know, you can only shower 1 time a day. Like, what? And we're wasting money. But you would sit there and buy all Harley products and all this stuff. Like, and then he's like, well, you can't tell me to do with my money. So, whatever. You know, and then I was like, well, fine. Then I'll take the extra shower at the Y. Now it's a problem because you're just wasting stuff. It's not your water. It's the Y's water. Only take 1 shower at your house. And it got to the point where it was just like, okay, well, I won't even take a shower at your house. Let me just do that. But, yeah. Those kind of people, you have to watch out for. Those are the main 2 tactics. They will use guilt trips when you leave, because now they don't have anything to hold you any weight, you know. Most of the people that they would date, I noticed that they weren't like go-getters. I'm more of a go-getter. I'm out there with the people, and they would say, you should be, what's the name? And they were just very antisocial, away from people, F everybody, this and that. Or the other person would act like he's around, and he would be the life of the party. But in closed doors, he was a monster. He was very much a monster. Not only that, I dealt with it not only in spousal relationships, in just regular domestic relationships with other people that I had met when I was homeless, like I want to say the 3rd time. And as I'm getting my stuff, I already had 2 jobs. This woman, which if you look in my videos, I'll tell you a lot about this person, because it'll talk about a lot of toxic people and toxic things. And that's how God like really brought me out. She was, everybody knew her in the community. She was like a pillar in the community. She still is to this day. She's labeled as a person who has mental illness. And, although you can probably, most people are going to say that, it's a difference between someone who is psychopathic and someone who has a mental illness. Like, she knows exactly what she does. She knows exactly how she's doing it. And she has her gang and her posse that follows them. They're just a cult, you know? But like I said, how she came in, and it just creeped me out. It made me sick to my stomach, because I had just got through with my first horrendous relationship. And she was just like, oh, you're so nice. And she wanted to show me her business and tell everyone that I'm her daughter and all this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going through this crap again, you know. So it made me want to clinch to her, because she act like she knew what I wanted. But in the end result, I could see that her whole thing was to exploit me. Like, she was just like, oh yeah, she's from Haiti. And I'm like, I'm from Haiti? Like, no, I'm Haitian. That's the difference. Well, kind of, but not. how she was saying it was like I didn't know anything. I didn't know who I was, where I was, anything. It was she was just plain evil. And like I said, she used everything and she manipulated me to like leave one place and go to another place just so she can have more control over me. And then discarded me and dumped me and act like I was nothing until I started getting back better. And then she would try to wedge herself back in, you know. So with those people, you just have to be very, very cautious of them. They will have like because on my other page, she had people lurking. I mean, these are people, they are very diabolical if you keep them in your circle. They would lurk around my page. They would watch what I would do. They would make fake reports on my page. They would come to my job. And show up and just say little crazy things, and they'd be like, so and so said this, and it wouldn't be the actual person else. She'll send someone else, like, and say, like, how did you even know that I worked here? You know. So yeah, that's how it is. So yeah. I had to think about it because I was just like, okay, how do I go into deeper detail? It's so much that I had to overcome and go through with narcissists and just evil people. But those are the two tactics. And yeah, those are the two tactics that people use. Usually they act like they're everybody abused them, poor little them, or they act like they are the savior of the world. When you get on your high, when you get better and stuff, they want to come in and do something better. So just be on the lookout for that. You know, no one should be taking your whole identity to the point where, or acting like they have helped you, to the point where you are helpless, like you can't help yourself. Anyone who's trying to enable you to be helpless, that is a red flag. Okay. We are all human, especially being adults. You are capable of doing your own things. That's just like a mother cutting up a child's 14-year-old's steak and feeding it to him. Okay, while that was good when he was like 1 or 2, he's 14 now. He has the capabilities to do it, and if he doesn't know it, he can learn. Okay, what you are doing is crippling them, and that's what that person that's the rescuer does. Now, the sympathy person, they know that they can't. Usually they're jealous and they're passive aggressive. That's the passive aggressive kind. And what they're gonna do is try to push everything on you, and that's the reason why they're not being successful. And you should be so grateful that they've done everything for you. Okay. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.